standing in your way. Take action now before it's late. Can't wait. You're the only one who can save the day.
What's up, guys? It's Kayla here for thebuttonsmashers.com to review for you Bad Apple Wars. Bad Apple Wars is the latest Otome game being released here in North America by Idea Factory and Otomate on Friday, October 13th, 2017. The game has been localized by Aksys Games, so the entire game now has English text but still maintains the Japanese voice acting, which I find to be a plus, especially as a Japanese major. It's always interesting to see how the Japanese gets translated, and I have to say they did a pretty good job with this one. There were a few off translations here and there, particularly with the character Naraka. They had her use a lot of foreign words like arrivederci, even though he wasn't saying anything strange or foreign in Japanese. They also had him use slang like defo and probs, but putting that aside, overall they did a great job, especially by getting creative and translating things that do not have a direct translation in English. Coming up with the word vexum for negate testo was almost more clever than the Japanese word combo that was used originally. Aside from the translation and voice acting though, another strong point of the game is its soundtrack. Not only the opening and ending themes, but all of the OSTs throughout the game were soothing and well made. As you Otome fans will know, music is a very important part to any Otome game, since it's completely text-based. You're just sitting there reading and listening to music the whole way through, so to hear such a nice soundtrack and a variety of songs was A+. There's even a menu option in the game under Gallery where you can listen to any of the songs in the game right there, which I haven't seen done before in these kind of games, but I found it quite a nice touch. Another thing I definitely had not seen before is an Otome game without choices. I know, let that sink in. You do not make response choices at all in this game. So you may be wondering, well, if there's no choices, then how do you select a route and get the best ending? Well, let's dive into that right now. Bad Apple Wars starts out with you, the main character, as you walk along to what you thought would be your first day of high school. However, as you walk along the street, you're suddenly struck by a car, killing you, and leaving you instead walking into a new school for the dead, surrounded in red skies, one you can never escape from, Neva Academy. You're promptly greeted by a terrifying-looking rabbit-head man, and told that if you be a good apple at Neva Academy, you can return to your life as it was before this incident. As you then attend the opening ceremony, you quickly realize that perhaps being a good apple isn't the answer to escaping. A group of students named the Bad Apples break in on the ceremony and make it clear that if you want to live, you should come to their hideout. All of the good apples are wearing masks and have seemed to lost any semblance of personality. So you're thinking it's probably best to go to the Bad Apples, who look like themselves still. However, Bad Apples are punished by the prefects of Neva Academy, so you also wonder if it's best not to go against them. This is when you're faced with your only real choice of the game. Do you want to be a bad apple or a good apple? I've played through both scenarios and I'll let you know my thoughts on each, but still, you may ask yourself, how do you determine your ending? That is done by touch scenes. This is certainly an interesting new component that I have never seen before in an Otome game. Basically, whenever a CG pops up in the game, you have to touch the character in the right place, could be the face, shoulder, hand, or whatever, and then you two become naked. If you did it right, that is, and a memory from that character's past is unlocked before your eyes. This component of the game is a little strange to me. It does make sense to the storyline that you would unlock a memory, but it's still strange to me how they just become naked. Even though they've added this new thing, I don't like that this is the new sole determining factor of how the story will end. I think choices are far clearer as to if you're on the right path or not. It's impossible for me to really tell what I did wrong or right in the new system. I played one bad apple route, the canon character Alma, and I got the true ending. Then I played one good apple route, who is the next step for canon, White Mask, and I got the Neva ending. I feel like the Neva ending is probably the bad ending, since the school wins against you. Either way, I wasn't sure how or why I got those endings at first, so I wish they would have kept the choice system in place and had the touch sequences be a supplement. I now realize that it's based on if you accidentally touch places that create blue instead of white, but it's still kind of a guessing game. Besides, without choices, it felt less immersive and more like a book about some character unrelated to you, which is not how an Otome game should be. The only other negative aspect of this game, in my opinion, is the sheer amount of depressing and sad moments. This may not be a negative point for everyone, but this game actually made me really sad. Even though I got a good ending with Alma, it was tinged with sadness, and Alma's backstory was truly the saddest thing I've ever heard. Though perhaps it wasn't the saddest because White Mask's backstory was crushingly depressing, and it's never even explained why the things that happened to him in the first place. After certain memories I'd see from one of their routes, I'd be in near tears. Although this means the story and writing was moving, which it was, so I praise the game for that. The story was very unique, but if I had to compare it to anything, I'd say Danganronpa with less violence and a dash of romance. So if you like Danganronpa and you also like otome games, you'd probably like this game too. Even with the few problems I had with some of its components, I did really enjoy Bad Apple Wars. The story was so intriguing and it made me want to read on to figure out more about this school and its oddities. After the first 5 chapters, the game shifts from story-heavy drama to a romance that focuses on whichever route you are on. There are less romance chapters than there are story setup chapters, and those remain roughly the same from route to route, so you may find yourself skipping some dialogues when you want to play through again. However, they didn't reuse much and tried to add new information to the same situations, depending on which route you're on, which is awesome. Of the 2 routes that I played, I enjoyed Alma's the most. I thought I wouldn't like how it ends all the way up until the ending, which surprised me and I loved it. If I would have gotten a good ending for White Mask, I think I would have liked his even more, because I felt for his character more than Alma. So I'll certainly be replaying to see if I can get that better ending. There are 3 other characters that I haven't played yet, 1 from the Good Apple side and 2 from the Bad Apple. So there are a lot of options in this game, but not so much that it's overwhelming. The game also puts a lot of heart into the side characters, some of which I actually fell in love with, such as Yo and Sanzu. It's always nice to feel connected to all of the characters, and not just the mains, as it's a common issue with games to leave side characters as cardboard cutouts. This game is a lot different from other games I've played by these creators, such as Amnesia, Code Realize, and Hakuoki, but that makes it stand out. This game definitely stands out, and I think will pique the interest of any otome fan, so I really recommend you to check it out. If you guys do check it out, be sure to leave some comments below on what you thought of it. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, but for now, I'll be signing off. Bye!